In the space of comics, DC and Marvel both came out with solicitations advertising their brand new comics for the month of March. While Marvel Comics, the House of Ideas, only came out with the first half of their solicitations, we have a complete offering of what DC Comics has to offer. DC Comics has some interesting books on the horizon with more Superman titles than you can shake a stick at, a brand new entry into the Lazarus Planet storyline, a new era for the Doom Patrol, and we even have an update on more ways that DC is tying together WildStorm with the familiar DC universe. My name is Ariko Braddock, and today let's go ahead and jump into DC solicitations for the month of March. I'm going to count down 5 of my most anticipated titles. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy our content, and make sure to go ahead and hit that like button as well. Without further ado, I want to show off some of these covers for the issues that I'm really anticipating over in the month of March at DC. Here's a look at Adventures of Superman Jonkent #1. This issue is written by Tom Taylor. We have art and cover from Clayton Henry. And I want to read off the solicitation text for this issue. Another Superman has fallen. Across the multiverse, Kal-Els are being murdered. Val-Zod, the Superman of Earth 2, believes only one man can help stop the killing, Kal-El's son, Jonkent. John will have to step across dimensions and face the killer of the Kal-Els, the monstrous Ultraman, the man who kidnapped and tortured him for years. And Val-Zod is not acting alone in trying to save the Superman. Who is the mysterious woman alongside him? And what is her shocking connection to the Superman family? So I've really enjoyed Tom Taylor's work with the Superman property, especially in the context of Jonkent. I think Tom Taylor has a really firm understanding of this character, and I can't wait to see how Jonathan Kent goes through his own electric blue era of Superman. My most disappointing aspect of this title is that it's only a 6-issue miniseries, according to DC Solicit, but I think it's going to be safe to say that you're not going to want to miss an issue of this thing if it's taking John into the electric blue era of his career. Next up, we have yet another Superman title with Superman Lost #1. And the reason why this is on my list of the most anticipated comics is because of the creative team. This issue is written by Christopher Priest. We have art and cover by Carlo Pagulayan and Jason Paz. Christopher Priest's comics are written like nobody else in the industry. There's always, panel breaks, awkward moments, just things that make Christopher Priest comics. And judging from some of the preview pages from this issue alone, a lot of those elements from titles like Deathstroke are going to be here in Superman Lost. Let's read off the solicitation text. Superman's Odyssey of Solitude. After Superman is called away on a routine Justice League mission, Lois Lane awakens to find a complete stranger standing in her living room. The Man of Steel, home much sooner than expected, reveals he has in fact been lost in space for 20 years. Nothing and no one seem familiar to him anymore, and the timeless bond between them has been severed. Or has it? Can love conquer all? Superman's 85th anniversary celebration continues with this all-new blockbuster 10-issue series from the creators of the Eisner-nominated Deathstroke series. As one kind of last note on the book before we move on, I am so excited that this comic book is covering trauma, specifically with, the Man of Steel being lost for nearly 20 years. And I think that this is the perfect premise that is going to challenge Christopher Priest in a little bit of a different context. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods #1. This issue is written by G. Willow Wilson, Becky Cloonan, and Michael W. Conrad. We have art from Cian, Tormey, and Alitha Martinez. Want to go ahead and read off the solicitation here? After the events of Lazarus Planet, the gods of the multiverse have decided to take down the heroes they once called champions and the world they've sworn to protect. For years, the gods sat idle atop their mountains as their legends faded into obscurity along with their bodies. Now is their time to remind these selfish mortals of their existence and take back the world with something more powerful than belief: fear. Only the brave heroes Wonder Woman and Shazam stand in their way, but will their combined powers be enough? So I'm also really excited to see how this Lazarus Planet Revenge of the Gods kind of mini-series will extend the Lazarus Planet storyline. And this is a bit of a cheat because this title is double shipping over in the month of March, and we have a look at the second issue of the series as well up on the screen right now. And for our next pick, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Unstoppable Doom Patrol #1. This issue is written by Dennis Culver. It features art and cover from Chris Burnham. I'm a big Doom Patrol fan. I've read several iterations of the Doom Patrol, but I think that Chris Burnham has such a unique sense of design and sense of art that I am more than excited to see Chris Burnham's take on Unstoppable Doom Patrol, as well as writer Dennis Culver. Let us read the solicitation text and find out a little bit more about what the duo have in store for DC's Doom Patrol. The world's strangest heroes are back in the DC universe. After the events of Lazarus Planet, more people than ever have active metagenes. Most of these new humans have become misfits, shunned and imprisoned by a fearful society. They are hidden away in the dark, lost to a system that only sees them as weapons or guinea pigs, ticking time bombs that can only be defused by the unstoppable Doom Patrol. Robot Man, Elastowoman, and Negative Man are joined by their brand new teammates Beast Girl and Degenerate, and led by Crazy Jane's mysterious new alter, the Chief, on a mission of saving the world by saving the monsters. I love the irreverent tone of the Doom Patrol comics and television series, and I can tell from the solicit text alone that this issue is going to have some of that strange, bombastic energy. So I'm super excited about this particular issue. Stay tuned to my channel for a full review when the issue releases over in March. Next up, let's take a look at my last pick of the month. This is a big one. It's called Waller vs. WildStorm #1, written by Spencer Ackerman and Evan Narcisse. We have art from Jesus Merino and a cover from Jorge Fornes. So the thing that makes, I think, this issue so interesting to me is because I really enjoy how DC Comics has been inverting kind of the mythology of WildStorm along with the DC universe to fuse these kind of superhero universes together to get something a little bit more unique in the space of DC Comics. For more context, let's read a little bit about the solicit text. In the early 1980s, as the Cold War stubbornly refuses to thaw, a new battle heats up. For the soul of the intelligence agency Checkmate, as the agency's superheroic public face, Jackson King, aka the Armored Battalion, former leader of Stormwatch and the symbol of the American might, has long suspected that Adeline Kane is up to dirty tricks overseas, engineering horrors that betray everything he believes about service to one's country. But King doesn't know that Kane has a clever new ally, an ambitious young woman named Amanda Waller. She has her own ideas about how metahumans can serve their country, and honor, dignity, and long lives don't factor into them. National security reporter Spencer Ackerman, comics and video game writer Evan Narcisse, and veteran artist Jesus Merino celebrate WildStorm's legacy of espionage-flavored superheroic morality plays, pitting Stormwatch against the deadliest people in the DCU, including Deathstroke himself. So there have been some really interesting teases about the kind of convergence of WildStorm into the DC universe. In the WildStorm anniversary special, there was a great story in there that kind of merged some elements of Shadow War along with WildStorm. And over in the DC Comics titles, there's been some interesting teases of the Authority, joining Superman in his quest to liberate Warworld. So this Waller vs. WildStorm title is yet another way that DC and WildStorm are melding together, and it looks like it's going to be a fascinating next step. So those were some of the biggest comics coming over in the month of March. I want to know if you think there's anything I left out of this list, and I want to know if you're as excited for some of these comic books as I am. Thank you guys so much for coming to check out the video, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent comic book contents. Talk soon. Bye.